don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's June, and that means it's Pride. It's hard to get fully enthused about Pride Month in June in Phoenix, because you notice we're not out marching in June. We do that in October in Phoenix. But it is always exciting to anchor into recognizing who we are as individuals. And I'm so proud to be part of a teaching and a movement and a center that openly, actively, vocally supports LGBTQIA people and everyone exactly where each beloved is and who each beloved is, as not a matter of being nice. We are nice. But that's really not what this is about. This is about really anchoring who we are. See, Ernest Holmes taught us in Science of Mind. If you don't know, Ernest Holmes is the founder of Science of Mind and the writer of a whole bunch of books, including a really, really big fat one called, are you ready for this? The Science of Mind. He said that it is our truth that we are each of this infinite oneness that we call the divine, and that we are each individualizations of that oneness. It's not separation to claim who we are in all of our interesting different little ways. It's not divisive to claim who we are in all those interesting different little ways. It's literally not even an option. We're doing it just by breathing. So here we land in this month where we're calling it In Living Color. And some of us, myself included, are in living color as part of the great rainbow mafia, as I call it, of the LGBTQIA and friends. We're gonna run out of letters. Because we want to include everybody, right? Everybody. And that is what New Vision Center is about to me, is seeing each individual beloved and loving them for exactly who they are. And that means getting to know all of those little wacky, deep, rich, simple, silly, important things about one another. Now, I get to stand up here a lot, so you are subjected to my Swiftie, knitting, grandmother, goofball, theater kid truth, yes? Yay for me. And you haven't kicked me out yet, so I'm guessing you're okay with it. And that's what we want for everybody. And in order to do that, we have to decide that we are brave enough to do what we want to do. Now, anybody remember that show In Living Color? Oh, I was transfixed. I was at just the right age to be broken wide open by this super exciting new TV show. I was a freshman in high school when it started airing. And I was a dancer, so you can just imagine. I saw those fly girls, and I wanted to be there. I wanted to be one of them. Do you realize that most of those women are super famous now? Carrie Ann Inaba is one of the judges on Dancing with the Stars, and So You Think You Can Dance. Rosie Perez became a really famous actress, and a person you might have heard of, J-Lo, was one of them. How fun, right? So when I look at June and I think about Coming Out Month, some of us came out as Democrats or Republicans in our families, where maybe some of our relatives looked at us like, you're doing what now? Some of us came out as a different faith than we grew up as, and somebody might have been like, what? Where are you going? Who are you talking to? Some of us came out as crafters. It's very expensive and sometimes looked down upon by people who are balancing our checkbooks. Some of us came out for who we love, our gender expression. There's so many different ways. So many different ways. And so if I'm going to embrace this idea of do what you want to do, which is a lyric in the theme song to that show, In Living Color, well, I've got some work to do, don't I? Because if I expect to be loved as I am, well, I better show up as I am. And oof, All of us are doing that, right? Every moment of every day, we're showing up our full, completely unmasked, authentic selves in every moment, saying and doing precisely what we feel is the best and brightest, independent of what anybody else might think, right? And a hush falls over the room. I hear you. So it takes courage. It takes courage to be ourselves. And the very first part is the very hardest part. Are you ready? We have to know ourselves. Know thyself. I feel like the first point in about half of my talks is know thyself. We have to know who we are. So sometimes we know something about ourselves and we have shoved it down, because what if they don't like it, or it's not popular, it's not cool. Thank God I'm not cool and I've never had to worry about trying to stay cool. Oh, that was a big weight off. But some of us just sort of feel detached. Like there's something important about ourselves that we haven't even found yet ourselves. Anybody ever feel that way? Like something's calling me and I don't know what it is. Yeah. And we don't like to be uncomfortable as humans. I don't like to be uncomfortable. But we have to be willing to be uncomfortable for a little while, and sometimes a long while, to let that steep all the way through. I mean, I wish I had popped out at 4 years old and been like, this is who I am, and I know everything. Nope, wasn't really my story, and may not have been yours either. But you can't be yourself if you don't know yourself. If only there were tools and places and opportunities to know yourself more deeply. Wouldn't that be a wonderful gift? I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that, because we literally build this place and chock it full of ways to explore your inner self. Not to do what we think you should do, or to be who we think you should be, or to believe what we think you should believe. It's about offering you the opportunity to find that for yourself. And it's going to be different for absolutely everybody. So what are some choices here? Well, Ralph hopped up here and gave us a brilliant one with an MVC circle. So there's going to be a pop-up today. I really invite you, if you're looking for a way to go deeper, know yourself, get to know other people, hop on over to the chapel and find out what that's like. What I have heard over and over in the 7-ish years we've had circles going is that not only does it offer us the opportunity to open up to our own truths, it gives us the opportunity to really anchor in with a group of other beloveds who become like family over the months and years. Doesn't that sound delicious? People who really know you and really love you just as you are. It's so yummy. We have new circles being born all the time. Right over there? There's a whole new circle group sitting right over there. Having a prayer partner is a fantastic way to dig a little bit deeper, to share with someone what's going on with you, and be heard as you explore what is yours to do. You are in a room full of people who would love to pray with you if you're here on campus. An online campus, if you're in that chat, you're in a chat full of people who would love to pray with you. It's what we do. And if you want to go all the way back to the very beginning and start fresh, we've got a Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life class coming up with Reverend Karen Einhaus that is the perfect opportunity to strip it all back and start looking at yourself from every single layer. It's delicious. It's delicious. You know, once we figure out what's going on with ourselves on the inside, do you ever hear people say, be yourself? Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Be yourself. It's great advice, but we all just hop right into doing that, don't we? Some of us do. Dylan in the front row is nodding aggressively, yes. And some of us do. I do now. It took a while. And I do now. But it can be hard when there's a fear that it won't be celebrated. Especially if we've had an experience of who we are not being celebrated. So let's just take a breath for that, if that's coming up right now. there is this tendency to shrink, to fit, to try to be what we think is wanted, and to hide the parts of ourselves that might invite commentary. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Because if we hide the parts of ourselves that we are afraid to share in that most tender place, then what happens is the people who like us, we don't trust it. There's that ticker tape in the back of our mind saying, oh, but if they knew, they would not love me, they would not like me, they would not approve of me. And you know what? That's on us. Because we're not even giving them the chance to show us. They could love us so unconditionally and we'll never even know, because we don't give them the honor to show us that we're okay, that we're safe here. Ernest Holmes, in the Science of Mind textbook, he said this about that place of fear of criticism and being hurt and being closed out. He said, nothing's real to us unless we make it real. Nothing can touch us unless we let it touch us. Refuse to have the feelings hurt. Refuse to receive anyone's condemnation. In the independence of your own mentality, believe and feel that you are wonderful. That's not conceit. That is the truth. It's not conceit to think you're good enough. It's not conceit to think you're wonderful. It's not conceit to think you should be received as you are and held in the light and the love of God as every human being. It's not conceit, it's the truth. You're amazing. You've done so many things. You're so creative and bright and interesting and funny, and a little bit weird in all the right ways. It's the truth. We gotta let that out. Authenticity invites us to surround ourselves with people who get that. And it's okay for the people who don't. They will or they won't when they will or they won't. But we build around us a community of people who do get that. This is one of those places. Hopefully you have several friend groups and family of choice and family of origin. You deserve to have many. And then when we start celebrating that, it ripples out. Because when we claim our truth, when we be who we are in our wacky weirdness, in our sweet quietness, in our whateverness, someone's watching you. I know it because I remember who I watched. Because I didn't trust it at first. Totally fair if you don't. I didn't either. Until I watched it play out in this community over and over and over. And finally, popped my little head up. Said I thought I'd try it. Rippling that out, that bravery, as it spreads, that's a part of creating a world that works for everyone, which is the Centers for Spiritual Living motto. The global heart vision is to create a world that works for everyone. And the only way to do that is to allow everyone to be who they are, to let that be, and to call that good. So once you're ready to do that, once you have a sense of who you are, then we run into culture. Perhaps you've heard of culture. There are these norms in life. And here in North America, moving through the lives that we have, there are norms like you're supposed to find a person of the opposite gender and get together and get married and have, 2.3 kids and a dog and a half or something. And you're supposed to work a certain place for a certain amount of money, and you're supposed to always be really interested in making more money. That's a big one. And you're supposed to behave whatever the norms are in your world, whatever your dad or your engineering professor thought you should do, right? And we've all got a list of them, and the funny thing is everybody's list is different. Everybody's list is different. And when we're talking about Pride Month, specifically, heteronormativity and gender normativity comes up a lot, right? Who do you love? How do you show up? How do you experience your gender? And, in the 70s, there was a series of studies, they called them the Kinsey reports, and they did surveys of thousands and thousands and thousands of, specifically, I think, Americans and Canadians. And they found out that there are some people that are 100% straight. Good chunk of them. And there are some people that are 100% homosexual. Reasonable sized chunk of them. And almost everybody's in the middle somewhere. In the middle somewhere. But we're living in this world where we're told kind of what we're supposed to be. And, some people are very clever and they have this voice in their head that's like, no, that's not me. That's not what I am. And cool on you. I was kind of a dingbat. I was cheerleading my way through the great Midwest, and I didn't know that bisexual was a thing. Like, I literally didn't know. In the 90s, God knows what rock I was under. But, I would have these powerful, strong relationships with young women of my acquaintance, a little obsessive, a little intense. And every once in a while, a friend would say, do you think you might be gay? I'm like, no, I am weirdly boy crazy. I was boy crazy. Never occurred to me that there was an in-between. Just didn't. Heteronormativity got me. And then in college, I learned a new thing. There was an in-between. Maybe the thing that's calling you, you don't even know what it is yet. And that's okay. My hope for you is that you are more curious than I was. I knew that something wasn't connecting quite right, but I didn't even ask. It didn't occur to me to look. Be brave enough to look. Because when all the pieces came together, gosh darn it if I haven't married 2 men in a row on purpose and everything. But I understand myself better. I understand who I am, and who I am doesn't change according to who I'm in relationship with. Whoever you are, this is an invitation to explore it. This is an invitation to dig into who that is. Ernest Holmes said, to assert our individuality is to rise above the law of averages, that more highly specialized use of the law that brings freedom rather than bondage. We're not being sassy when we show up for pride, whether it's pride or the pride that you're carrying in your heart for who you are. We are literally using the law of mind to create the life that works for each one of us, individualized, powerfully for who we are. This is a divine calling. You are needed as who you are all the way, even if you're not a Swiftie. I will work on my unconditional acceptance of that. You are needed. You are needed. So tell your truth. Tell it to yourself. Speak it in the world. Support others as they do the same. And this doesn't stop at the end of Pride Month. This doesn't ever stop. So we have an affirmation, and I invite you to read it with me. I love who I am, trusting my higher self to guide me in every step. Let's say it again together. I love who I am, trusting my higher self to guide me in every step. This is the invitation. Tell your truth, be who you are, and so it is. So let's anchor this in with some prayer. How good it is to be right here, right now. to be in the ever presence of an infinite divine mind and heart that has space for each beloved exactly as each is, that calls us into the individualization that brings forth this particular expression of the divine that could never be known any other way. How good it is to remember that as each within the sound of my voice is a walking out of the divine in form, that each is divinely made exactly as they are in this perfect now moment. And so I just speak a blessing of the rising up of divine truth, the rising up of owning who one is, of claiming that space on this earth to be who we are, loud and proud, fully honest, completely engaged. I'm grateful, so grateful knowing that this is already the truth in the heart and mind of the divine. And so I call it all beautifully, beautifully good. And so it is.